and welcome everyone to one of the Sports Coverage Podcast's first instant reaction videos. I am Andrew, cannot be joined by Vince today because this is some breaking news that just dropped out of the MLB. Third baseman Ryan McMahon of the Rockies has been traded to the Yankees in exchange for two prospects, and this is really going to be one of those first blockbuster trades that's going to kick off the MLB trade deadline. So let's talk about some instant reactions here. First of all, I, as a Yankees fan, absolutely adore this move. I am extremely excited with Ryan McMahon. We know that the Yankees would be looking for a third baseman, whether that be Eugenio Suarez, who I think the Yankees are now going to be out on, unfortunately, just because they've now made the decision to acquire McMahon. And also just because I think Cashman did a really good job getting a third baseman, especially of this defensive caliber, for pretty cheap. So we'll go into the two prospects that the Yankees ended up losing and then also some quick stats on Ryan McMahon. So the two prospects we lost were Griffin Herring, who was the high A affiliate with the Hudson Valley Renegades season, 7-3, 1.71 ERA, and he is a lefty starter. The second one is also pitcher Josh Groves, also with the Hudson Valley Renegades, the high A affiliate, 4-8 this season with a 4.14 ERA, and he is a righty. Groves was the 11th round pick for the Yankees in 2023, and Herring was the 6th round pick for the Yankees in 2024. All in all, for a guy like Ryan McMahon, like I said, I think that this is almost, I would call it an insult to the Rockies at that point, because we know how desperately the Yankees needed some third base help, and we certainly got it here. For Ryan McMahon, he ranked second in the MLB in defensive runs saved from 2021 to 2023, which is a huge thing that the Yankees need help on, especially after, of course, their defensive display last game that we saw, which certainly was rough. We saw the 4 errors against the Blue Jays, which led to a loss in that series, and they're 4 games back now. But this also has huge implications on Jazz Chisholm Jr., who we know he came up as a second baseman. He played outfield with the Marlins. He played some other infield positions. With the Yankees, we had Gleyber Torres last year, so he ended up not getting the chance to play at his native position, second base. And this year, he started off the year at third base. You know, DJ LeMahieu wanted to get some reps out there at second as well. But yeah, he started off the year at third base. We realized that's not really going to work out that well, so we moved him to second base, where he's been playing a lot better defensively lately, especially with him and Anthony Volpe up the middle. But that left a huge hole at third base, where we've kind of been rotating between Yorbit Vivas, Oswald Peraza, who of course are two pretty young guys that I wouldn't say are extremely capable of being the day-to-day third baseman for the Yankees. So huge for Ryan McMahon to be able to slot into that position immediately, especially as we go into the dog days of summer, where the Yankees are really, really, really going to be pushing for a much bigger spot in the postseason. Of course, they're now 4 games back against the Blue Jays. So, again, all in all, very, very happy. We saw that we'll look at some of Ryan McMahon's stats, because he's not necessarily the best guy on offense, especially this year, but I would say his upside especially is pretty high. He's batting .217 this season, but we've seen that get all the way up to as high as .254 in 2021. But he was an all-star last year when he batted .242 with 20 home runs and 137 hits last season with the Colorado Rockies, along with 65 RBIs. This year he has 35 RBIs, he has 16 home runs, and he's batting .217. But again, really we're going to be looking at his defensive stats, but like I said, I see a high upside here for Ryan McMahon, and I don't really see this as being like a huge issue, if I'm being honest. So I just want to pull up his some of his stats for you here so that you guys can see. So yeah, you can see here kind of how he's progressed over the seasons. Like I said, again, .217 this season. His speed isn't amazing, but he certainly is more of a threat than you would say some of the other guys that we've gotten in the past. This is what I really like. His range is 91st percentile according to Baseball Savant, which I really, really like in terms of defense. He is a mediocre arm strength. His K percentage is 3rd percentile, 31%. His average exit velo is 94, and that's 98th percentile, which I really, really like as well, and I think that that's going to be important. he bats lefty, which is, we know what that's like in Yankee Stadium. So very, very excited with that as well. Barrel percentage, hard hit percentage are pretty high. So yeah, all in all, pretty happy with him. You could see hits well against fastballs. He's getting a little bit better with the breaking ball this season. But yeah, again, like I said, all in all, pretty happy with what the Yankees have been able to get here. So yeah, that's my quick breakdown, instant reactions to, again, third baseman of the Rockies, Ryan McMahon, to the New York Yankees in exchange for two prospects, Josh Groves and Griffin Herring, two pitchers that were both with High A Hudson Valley for the New York Yankees. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in pretty early for this trade deadline announcement, and we're going to have a ton more as we think we're going to see guys like Eugenio Suarez, potentially Key Brian Hayes, potentially on the move throughout the league. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching. Like and subscribe down below, and we'll see you for the next full episode of the Sports Coverage Podcast soon.